Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm so pumped right now. That was amazing. That was a big set from D.O. right there. Some awesome tracks that he's got in the works and out there. That last one, oh, everything is going to be all right. That was heavy, man.
Yeah,
and we got
yeah.
D.O. now on the phone with us. What is good, brother?
Oh, everything's great right now, man. Just been putting it down, man. Just wrapping up the album. So I wanted to give you guys the exclusive. That's the first time that track's been played.
That's big, man. I'm so proud and honored to be able to be the first station to rock that joint, man. That is such a big tune, man. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm literally just sitting here in awe. I am. That tune hit me hard. That beat is incredible. Of course, produced by one of Canada's top dogs right now, Classified, and just your lyrics, your flow, your delivery, everything on that, man. You're getting so much better, man. Everything's so tight and on point. Is killer.
Yeah, that was actually the first record we did on the album too. Like when he sent me a batch of beats, I kind of gravitated towards that because it was kind of the classic hip-hop style. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a good way to kind of set the tone of the album, too, is it's always good to come back to the roots of classic hip-hop.
Yes, and you're all about that roots, man. I know I've heard some tracks where you reference exactly in the hook and stuff. You're talking about staying in your roots and your roots and your roots. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about.
For sure.
Going back to that, and that's exciting. If that's the first record that you worked on, then I can't even imagine what the rest of it's gonna sound like, or what the last one. Because even any project that any artist works on, generally once you're getting to the last record, you're putting in some of your best work ever, right? So, wow, if that was the first one, whew.
Sure, especially when you're working with one producer on the whole album too. Mm-hmm. You kind of, I've worked with Class in the past, but. It's like you're playing a sport. If you're playing basketball, you kind of anticipate where that player is going to be when you make the pass, and you score the alley-oop that way. It was definitely, it felt that the last time I went down, there was one more track to finish up on the album, and it didn't take long for us to come up with it and for us to put it down. So it was kind of like the industry was really coming to bear, but at the same time, when you're making the album, you kind of know what's needed at that point too. It's like, okay, we got this joint, we got that joint. Let's wrap it up with something like this. And I was like, perfect. That's right up the alley. So it felt really good to put that down, and just getting to master the album this week. So it feels good to finish it up.
That's good, man. That's good. And what's it like when you're in the studio with Classified and like putting those records together, like being in person with that experience?
Yeah, I think the cool thing with Class is just that he's a down to earth guy, but at the same time you're looking at the place and it's a dope it's a home studio, but it doesn't look like a home studio because it's got everything you'd see in like $1 million studio, really. So I think that's the beautiful thing with equipment and music now. He's definitely earned the right to have that stuff in the spot. So in that way, you feel cool and you feel just chilling as far as like there's no pressure, but at the same time, yeah, you want to deliver when you get on the whole songs are on point.
You're cutting out a little bit. Are you in a basement or anything?
No, I just stepped out of there. So
okay. I don't know, so it cut out a little bit, but it's all good. But yeah, no, I get what you're feeling or what you're saying there. 100%. Working with somebody like Class, it's when you're at that level and stuff. Like I'm sure it pushes you and inspires you to come up with your best work that you can.
Yeah, exactly, man. So just really happy with the album and happy how it came together, man. With Joell Ortiz on there, Socrates. I know I got you on a remix for it, man. So that's gonna be hot too.
Pumped for that, man. I'm so honestly thank you a lot for getting me on that, man. It's an honor to do a record with you and to have those heavy hitters in the two involved in it. It's big, man. So thank you very much. Word
Yeah,
up. I'm
sure.
excited to hear the whole
cool
project.
That you brought that tour together, man. I wouldn't have connected with Joell if it wasn't you putting that tour down. And I had a lot of fun coming out to one of those shows too, man. I mean, I've seen you put it down a few times now, but it's same way, man. It's always feels good to see an MC go out that you've been checking and get better and better. So
definitely, man, definitely.
Good.
And I see that with you, man. It's such a wicked level of mutual respect, man. Seeing you the first time ever. I've told this story before on the show when we've done interviews before, but about the first time that we ever met. You showed up at my high school, at Center Wellington, and I got a chance. That was the first time I ever performed. Was I got up on stage and did a little thing in front of the whole school, and that was big for me. And then you hooked me up with your CD, your T-shirt and stuff, and gave me props. And then we've been talking ever since, and watching you build, and you've been watching me build and stuff, and it's really cool, man.
It's crazy how the years go by now, man. We vets in the game now.
Yeah, to see it now, man, for sure. It's crazy. It really is.
And the stripes. That's
one thing that I wanted to talk about though is getting into schools, man. Like, you've done so well at being able to, get to the schools, which is what matters, man. I swear, these kids, these days, they're dealing with so much more problems in school, I think, with bullying issues and all sorts of stuff. I read your book, by the way. It was excellent.
Okay, dope.
It was excellent. I finally got a chance to, when I was on the way back from Van in the plane. I was like, okay, I've got time. I'll sit down. I'm going to take this thing in. It was incredible, man. It was very, very good, heartfelt, touched me. And I think it's going to touch a lot of students, too, and kids that are going through, struggles like that with dealing with bullying at school and stuff. Talk to the people, if you can, a little bit about, how that's come about in your life, getting that, how that importance and that need to get that message out to the children is.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started going out to schools, I thought it was cool. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed interacting with the students, kicking it with them afterwards. And I was just trying to make sure I got through the show, because I was like, wow, I got to speak for a whole hour and, mix in my raps, and how's this going to work, and what's the response going to be? But yeah. I think for me now, I enjoy it because I recognize that for those youth, they might not have seen a lot of hip-hop come to their school or a rapper. I'm not the traditional guest speaker. So especially lately, I've gotten a lot of interesting feedback now that, youth are so into social media. So, just yesterday, a high school student hits me up and just was like, I just got suspended from high school, and I've been suspended a few times, and I don't know what I should do. And my parents are saying this, and they say I shouldn't listen to hip-hop. And what do you think? And I'm just like, whoa, that's heavy,
Yeah.
Because it's tough to come up with that advice on the spot, but at the same time, I'm glad that they will ask me that, because, I just try to be real with them as I can. I think, the main thing about high school and elementary school is really surrounding yourself with the right group of people, and just trying to get through those 4 or 5 years that it is. Because, once you grow older, you realize how short that time is, but how important it is, because that's really going to set you up for the rest of your life. So sometimes that's why I say you got to stay driven. You got to make it, you got to persevere and come out as best as you can, even if you're going through, your parents are split up, or you don't feel like you fit in at your school, and you feel like you're an outcast, like I say, and everything going to be all right track. You just got to stay driven.
Definitely. There's it's such a fragile time in the development of a human being is those years in high school and stuff, and in school, and when you're dealing with a lot of, you said it exactly, nailed it, is, a lot of people are dealing with parents being divorced, growing up in broken homes and stuff like that, and a lot of kids, will tend to lash out because of that, have a rebel side, because they don't want to go with the establishment, or they're mad at this or mad at that and stuff, and I sympathize with it 100%. My parents broke up when I was 3 years old. I went through a lot of hard times as a young child as a result of that. You know what I mean? And it's like, I think it's important to recognize that, you can still get over these things. Like bad things that happen to you in your life happen to you for a reason. I think, somebody was just telling me they were really down, lost their job, this happened, another thing happened, and it's just like when things pile up, sometimes it can get really hard for people to deal with it, and it's good to recognize that all these things happen to every single person out there. You know what I mean? All of us go through these problems, and the more that we talk about them with each other and stuff and help each other out, we can pull each other, be the ladders for each other when we're down in a hole, you know what I mean, and help each other out. So it's good that you're spreading
and that's what hip hop's always been too. It's like that's what you turn to. I mean, I remember when I was in high school, I was listening to Biggie, and he was dropping. I mean, he even had a song called "Suicidal Thoughts," just talking about pulling the trigger on himself. So, hip hop is always something. It's a positive outlet that you can turn on some music to and relate to.
100%. I like how you dropped into that Biggie reference there. That's 100% true, man. All of us as rappers too, we go through these kinds of same situations, same thoughts that these children do in schools, and it's good when they have music that they can relate to and listen to that's going to be helpful and will help them in a healing process.
Yeah, most definitely.
And that track that you've got right there, Everything Going to Be All Right, that's a perfect example of that, man. Like, personifies that. I love it.
Yeah, that was like I said, that's why we had to go with that one out the bat. And then like a few other joints I'm really excited about. Like I got one record with Maestro called It Never Gets Old. And that one's all about, like, the concept was, you could come up with the same people, and on the weekend, you're doing the same thing you did like 10 years ago. Maybe when you were a teenager, you might be still playing video games in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, you know what I mean? But
yeah.
It never gets old. And same thing if you're an MC, you might have done 100 shows or 1,000 shows or 10 shows, but like that same feeling you get, that same charge, is what you still have every time you're on a mic. So that comes back to what we're saying there, man. But it never gets old. So that was a fun joint to do with Maestro, and I got Mike Boyd on the hook too, man. Classic brother who's coming out with his own album too. So it was fun working with him. He's always in the studio too, so it's always good to get his input on stuff.
Yeah, no, I've been following and watching him for a minute, man. Definitely, I love the music that I hear from him. He's really creative.
Oh yeah, he's a crazy lyricist, and he comes up with a lot of the hooks too, man. Even for classes stuff, I don't think I'm giving anything away by saying that. I mean,
I think that's known. I think that's known for sure. And the hooks that he has come up with when he sings it himself on some of classes tracks too, like they really stand out. You know what I mean? Like he's really musically inclined and very good when it comes to crafting good quality hooks.
For sure.
And music too. Yeah.
That's why, like, I told him, like, I was like, Mike, I think I got to get you on this hook. It'll be good. And then he came over the next day, and he was just, like, real serious. He's like, you ready to work on this song right now? I was like, yeah, man, let's do it. And then we just have fun putting it down, because I think that's the thing with working with, musicians that you're friends with. You're kind of comfortable just to have a fun time in the studio. So that's the key.
Yes, definitely. And you know what? That's what's missing a lot in today's music, I find. There's a lot of seriousness going on sometimes, and it's just because there's a lot of business involved, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And there needs to be that. There needs to be a good level of business. But I remember, like, I'm just playing back old records that I did, like, when I first started rapping, and I'm just listening to the energy and vibe on them, and I can just feel this kind of like real fun, kind of feel from it, because back before I was trying to do any business planning at all, I was just making music and just doing it for the love and for the fun right now, right? But now it seems that there's a lot of business involved in it, and it kind of takes away that experience where I can get collaborative in the studio with getting other artists like physically there with me, smoke a little bit, chill out, vibe out for a bit, maybe play a game or something, and conversate, and then work on some music and like have it, be a really fun experience. You know what I mean? I think that artists need to start doing that more, is getting like right involved in the creative process together, collaborative, and having fun with it again.
Yeah, I definitely think that's really important to build that connection. And then sometimes it's like you might not even be in the studio with that artist or, spend that much time the day you're recording, but it's cool if you had that chance to kick it with them before, with that relationship, with them, so that you kind of do know each other, you can kind of feel each other out. Because, like, even in one of my songs that never gets old, like, Maestro has a reference to me in there. He calls me Coach Gibson, which is like something, that I've started coming out with. I've dropped it in some lines, but we know that from hanging out with each other, from listening to some of my music, and me saying, I'm a coach of rappers. So it's like, so he incorporated that in his rhyme, you know what I mean? But he got that from checking me out, whereas, like, sometimes if you just, work with an artist you haven't really connected with, but you just, they've got a hot name, so you want to put them on the record, and they're just spitting a generic 16, then, it's just not the same, right?
100%.
I got this dude on the record, yeah, but I swear you spit that rhyme somewhere else then too, you know what I mean?
That is so true. That's 100% true. And that's the thing. That's the thing. When you get the chance to actually hang out with the artist, you're friends with them, you can build some sort of relationship. Then when you're writing and you're actually doing the song together, the certain lines that they make, like, there's some actual meaning to it that has value beyond just, being a good song for people to hear. There's something behind it. So that's cool. And that's dope, man. You definitely are a coach in the game. Salute to that. You, for sure. You help out a lot of the younger cats, you know what I mean? You've definitely, paved a lot of ways for them and been able to help people out and put people on, I mean, taking some cats over to Europe and writing up grants, doing that business thing, getting people money for videos and all that stuff. Like, it's definitely noticed in the industry for sure. And anybody that I talk to about, D.O., they're always just like, always say really, really good things about you, man.
I hope so. You never know sometimes, man. But you know what? I was really happy this weekend. Like, I went out to Newmarket because I saw JDR and Rich Kid were doing a show. And I went out and checked that show, and the crowd was pretty, pumping out there. And there was some MCs on the lineup I'd never heard of yet. And they were really dope. And to me, that's what it's all about. It's like, there could be a dope show in Newmarket. That's like, wow, that's another spot that you normally wouldn't think of in Ontario could be popping. But to me, that's a beautiful thing now that I see some of those places really happening. Yeah,
no, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. All the little cities, the small markets, the tertiary markets, as they call them, that people don't really think will be that popping. Sometimes they get even bigger, more successful shows than the bigger cities because they're so hungry for it, and it doesn't come around that often. So when it does, and a hip hop show's in town, everybody's coming out and supporting. You know what I mean? So.
Kind of like Sarnia.
Word up. Yeah. Gonna come check y'all this
real hype for the show, man.
This weekend. Yes, I'm gonna be inside you Sarnia on Saturday, March 8th. I'm so pumped. Yeah, and it's looking pretty hype, man. Definitely. The whole crew collective coming out, showing support for sure. Shout out to Michael Cassidy, who helped put it together with me. A lot of the local artists coming out and repping it. So it's exciting.
Blowing up last few days, man. So.
Yeah, Sarnia.
A lot of people are talking about it, man.
It's good. It's good, man. I like it. And yeah, you're also from around that area as well, right? You got a lot of.
Yeah, I went to high school. One of 12 places I'm from, so definitely a key hometown for me, man. And the thing, like a place like Sarnia showed me a lot of love when I was coming up. I remember just like when they did a newspaper profile on me back in the day. That meant a lot, because I'd have like. Just like parents, my friends' parents would see me in a grocery store or at Walmart or something and be like, "Hey, Dwayne, I hear the rapping thing's coming along great." And I would be like, "Yeah, I actually got a CD in my pocket right now if you want to check it out." And they would buy those, you know what I mean? So it's like I always got to show love to certain cities, especially Sarnia, because, a lot of people really showed love, not just, the teenagers, but that whole community. So I'm glad that they supporting you too, man.
Definitely. Respects, man. Yeah, no, I've been there probably, I'd say a good 8 to 10 times for shows.
Oh, wow.
Like,
yeah, like
so far.
I know you've been there a few times. I didn't know it was that deep.
Yeah, no, I always try and get on as much as I can out there in Sarnia. I like that city, man. There's a good vibe out there, and just any of these little cities, you know, Kitchener, Woodstock, London, Hamilton, Brantford, even Fergus, Acton, Georgetown, all these little tiny cities all involved, mixed in with all the bigger ones. Like, it's just, there's so many platforms for artists to get out there and do their thing, so it's good. New market.
It's crazy out there, man. New market, I mean. But and then around the world, man, like, I gotta tell you, I had a crazy month in February. I was out in France. I did a shot there, but the crazy one for me was being in Stockholm, Sweden.
Word, you got out to Sweden. How was that? How was Stockholm?
It was really dope, man, because, like, you know, I got to say, we were pretty fast. We were in Amsterdam the night before. So, like, you know, we get our hotel, and my boy out there, who's one of the big labels and managers out there, he's waiting at the hotel. He's like, yo, we got to go to this record release party. So, like, we go check out the party, and the party's dope. But the artist is performing all in Swedish. And the next day, I was going to be at the Independent Music Awards, not just hip hop. So I was presenting the Best Hip Hop Award.
That's dope.
But the thing about it was like they wanted me to do it with this other artist from Sweden, who's a battle rapper, more of a battle rapper, freestyler, but more of a battle rapper. So they were like, it'll be cool because you rap in English, he raps in Swedish. So I'm like, okay. But then, like, I meet the host of the show, and she's like, so you guys are going to battle? And I'm like, I don't know about that. You know, and battling is not my thing, but I'm like, okay. And so I see the show start, and then I notice she's talking. And then, like, she keeps on talking Swedish, and they bring up a presenter, and they're talking Swedish. And they're singing in Swedish. And I'm like, I'm going to be going...
The only person that's speaking English.
And I got a freestyle that might turn into a battle. So I get up there, you know, I kick a little freestyle. It goes over good. But then she's like, okay, I'm going to give you guys a topic. You got to understand, she's also a comedian. I think she gave it
menstruation.
Yeah. You know, I'm like, oh, my God, man. Like, I'm on stage, you know, 1,000 people in the crowd, something like that. But, like, of course, like, with my style, I try to flip it and make it at least funny. Yeah. You know, like I said, the other guy was a battle rapper, so he was, like, trying to twist it in a metaphorical way of stuff like that. So, fortunately, it turned out good for me, and the night turned out good, but rap acts were in Swedish, but it's crazy, man. I was just sitting back. I couldn't understand what they're saying, feel what they're saying. And again, that's the beautiful thing with hip hop. You know, when somebody's passionate on stage, rapping, you know, it doesn't matter what they feel it, you know, what across.
For sure, man. Definitely. No, I understand that. Even just working with some French MCs and stuff like that, they're rapping in completely different language, but you can feel the passion, you can feel the energy, and just watching. There's a lot of rappers online, European rappers, like in Italian, German, all different languages, whatever you want, whatever your flavor of the day. And if you go and listen to it, you might not be able to understand the words, but you can feel the passion. There's a lot of hardcore passion in those lyrics for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, my man Marco Polo did a whole album with some Italian cats, and like with those Marco Polo beats, you know, it's just got you your head, even though you can't understand it.
Definitely, your head's gonna be bopping. Get that neck snapping.
Man. Yeah, exactly.
Word up. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing the full new project, man. Down Home, that's what it is. I'm calling you Mr. International now because of your international grind. You're just out there all over the place doing your thing, out in Amsterdam, out in France, out in Taiwan, and of course holding it down for Canada. Mr. International, D.O.
It's funny, man, because I had a track called Mr. International back in 2004, and I really had only been to the States to that point. So, I'm glad I lived up to the title,
Hey,
That's what we do as MCs. We set ourselves with an image and try to aspire to it. So
Exactly. Sometimes they say you got to fake it till you make it, right? But
yeah, precisely.
And that's sometimes what it comes down to is you put that out there, put the energy out into the universe, and then eventually it's gonna come back, and you'll be like, wow, you see, I created that.
For sure.
Listen to that track in 04. See, I predicted that.
I
knew Robbie G.
Videos,
I knew Robbie G in this 2014 interview 10 years later was going to say, he's Mr. International now. That's what up.
Ain't that the truth?
Creation, manifestation, making dreams come true.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on the show, man. I always appreciate it.
Much respect, man. Thank you. Stay driven out there, people. Go and check him out. He's got tons of videos online. That's D-O, a.k.a. Defy the Odds. He's got a new album coming, produced solely by Classified. Oh, I'm excited for it, man. Down Home. It's coming soon. When do you have an official release date for it?
It's going to be in April, but we're just confirming the specific date over the next few days. So we'll let you know.
Awesome.
It's
Looking forward.
Soon. Another month, man. So
yeah, real soon. Pumped. Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, I'll catch you out at a few gigs this year. Maybe we'll rock a show or two together. And yeah, looking forward to hearing the new album, man.
Oh yeah.
All right. Much respects to Dio, and we'll catch up soon. All right.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Peace out.